And we're live. Hi there.
All
My name's
right.
Dakota. This is Fifth Avenue Cigars, and we're back to doing 4 on Fifth because we actually have 4 people on Fifth Avenue for once.
Amazingly.
I know, instead of 5, 6, 7, 12, you know.
Look at all this room for activities we got.
No, it's weird.
You can actually grab stuff this time too.
Tonight we're joined by a very special guest from, honestly, a place that's near and dear to our hearts. Brandon, what do you want to tell us about yourself?
Brandon. I'm from Bernie's Bungalow Lounge. My old man was Bernie. He started that great little bar, downtown, and I'm trying to keep it going, and in the whole legacy of everything. And
Yeah.
it's a great place to have a smoke and have a scotch. So come down and join us sometime.
Send people over there all the time to go smoke.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
the huge crowd
every
on
day.
Thursday that
Yeah.
came in, thanks to you guys.
Cool.
Every Thursday?
Well, no, this last Thursday there was.
Oh, yeah.
The Alaska Cigar Aficionados Club.
No, there was the Omega Pi Psi
Oh,
National
those guys,
Fraternity
yeah,
Order
yeah.
is in town doing a conference, and they came and got some cigars from you guys, and
Mm-hmm.
they came down, and I thought they said, "Oh, we're gonna have a few of us," and so I was like, it started out as 4 or 5, and there's probably about 30 of them on Thursday, and then another 40 showed up yesterday.
I
So,
think
man.
I heard them say that they have 400 fraternity members in town from various places.
Yeah,
So, and that's, I mean, yeah, we definitely, they came in, we sent them over there, but also shout out to our friend, Mr. Aaron Sharp. He's trying to pledge with them, and he's involved with them anyway. So he was also part of sending people over there. But yeah, but anyway, well, welcome, man. Thanks so much for being here.
oh, thanks for having me.
You
I
got some
will-
high praise, apparently.
Oh,
Best
thank you,
boss ever.
Sierra.
Can we make
You're-
that bigger?
I didn't realize they were watching this at work.
Well, okay.
A little too big there, buddy.
Yeah, I might have, a little birdie might have told them that they need to tune in and talk some shit. No,
Now's your chance, anonymously.
speaking of the staff and Dakota, what you were saying, like, yeah, we all miss your old man. Bernie was fantastic, but in my estimation, like nothing around there has really changed other than I don't get to see Bernie when I come in anymore, but everything is still fantastic. You were cut and ready to go already.
Okay. I thought it was a lighter, actually.
This is a lighter.
We already performed Briss on it. You're good to
Oh.
go.
But yeah, I mean, we all love going there. Bernie's is one of my top favorite places. I don't get out a lot, and if I'm going to, I want to make sure I have a good time. And so, yeah, Bernie's is pretty much top of the list, man. I can't really think of any other place I'd rather just go chill. So yeah,
Nice.
congratulations to you, and you're doing a great job, and we appreciate you. Thanks for making some time to come hang out with us.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
Sierra, thanks for chiming in. We love you. I told him to put it up on your big TV and
Well, there's hockey on in there, so I didn't know.
put it up in there, and then tell everybody if they want to, they can log on and talk shit and ask questions or whatever. But,
You
yeah.
can throw tomatoes at the screen, it'll translate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here I'm gonna get my cigar lit up. Yeah.
Let's get into what we're smoking.
What you got there, Chad?
Got a Macanudo M, the bourbon, but a little special one that I found behind the barrels that we have in the humidor there.
It's been there a while.
Who knows how old this one is, but it was just
Are you
cleaning
saying,
up and I found it on the floor.
are you saying through the transitive properties of being next to a barrel, it might
It
Be
gained a little bit of
barrel-aged.
bourbon age in it, a little excess.
Secret
yeah.
cigar.
Mhm. It was kind of a fun one. But yeah, it should be a pretty tasty one. I've had it quite a few times before, so I've always enjoyed it.
Cool.
But who knows?
I'll disagree with you. And how about you, Ben?
So I'm smoking something called chicken legs. This is from our new friends at
Floor-aged cigar.
Espinal Puro. This is a boutique cigar brand. They have several of their own lines, and I guess he rolls a lot of cigars for other companies too. I don't know the full details or whatever, but appreciate the samples. He said he might get to jump on here in a minute and say hi, so we'll see if we see him on
Yeah,
here. But
excellent.
yeah, I smoked one. Mike's had one. I've given them out to a couple people, the Alaska Cigar Aficionados, and they've been a hit.
Mhm.
So again, thanks to Fred at Espinal,
Mhm.
and that's me.
I
Brandon
got dealer's choice. So,
As dealer's choice, he has no idea. Brandon,
So far, it's pretty tasty. So.
so you enjoy a cigar sometimes, but you're not super into it, especially not like a big hog leg or something. You
Yeah.
told me it's something smaller. This is called the Feito. It's known as the ugly little cigar. It's from another boutique cigar maker that we really love called Sagrado. It's all about sacred moments. Sagrado means sacred, and their cigars are meant to bring people together and share just important moments with people that you care about. And that's kind of a rustic looking little thing. Probably why they called it the ugly little cigar, but in my estimation, they're damn tasty. We sell tons of them, so I thought maybe you'd enjoy it.
So far, so good.
I mean,
Thank
you could pull off a Clint Eastwood. You can do the squint.
Just chew on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a whiskey. I'll have a chew on it at the same time. Yeah.
I'm having the CAO BX3, so it's Brazilian times 3. That's the Maduro wrapper, the binder, and the filler. I love the flavors coming out of the Brazilian tobacco industry. I'm a whore for CAO, so I mean it's a no-brainer.
Have you had that one many a times before?
I've had it a couple times before.
It's a good smoke.
This is the third time, but like I kind of wanted comfort food this evening. I wanted something that was no surprises. I didn't really have to focus on it. I knew I'd enjoy it. It'd pair well with whatever we're having.
I mean, I've got a few cigars up there that I need to smoke up, but
You went with comfort.
I kind of went with comfort. But I
Yeah.
also found this, man. This is like a relic.
You're that guy who, if you found that Cheeto sitting behind all the dishes on your counter, you'd be like, I'm going to eat that.
I probably would.
Yeah, you would.
Chad's the Indiana Jones of cigar smokers right now.
I just need a little
It
fedora.
belongs in a museum. Like, yeah. That's,
belongs. Well, maybe the wrapper belongs to the museum.
all right. Well, I don't know. Getting into the program a little bit here. We're shaking off the winter time, getting into a couple nicer days here and there, despite the little snowstorm
Yeah,
a few
it'll
days
stop
back.
snowing.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's when you guys hit your stride, isn't it?
Yeah, when the sun comes out, it's really our bread and butter.
Can you
Yeah.
hand me the new brick, sir?
Absolutely.
You know,
Not the old one, the new one.
It was funny, Wednesday, because we had Cinco de Mayo yesterday, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
So my plan was to get the
It's my
patio
kid's
open.
birthday, by the way.
Oh, happy
He's
birthday.
going to have fun when he's 21.
Every birthday will be a party for him when he gets older.
Exactly. Sorry.
And so I was trying to get the patio cleaned up. And so I had, Jay and Patty and Sierra and everybody was down at the bar on Wednesday trying to help me clean up the patio so we can get it open for Cinco de Mayo. And I'm outside pressure washing and it's just dumping snow on me. I was getting so frustrated. I was like, this is a colossal waste of time.
I just imagine you throwing it down and be like, fuck this shit.
No, I got about half the patio done. I was like, you know what? This is it. We got the fountain up and running again. So
Awesome. I love that
Good,
fountain.
good, good.
The dragon?
yeah.
All right.
So just trying to get the patio up and running whenever the weather decides, it doesn't want to be winter anymore.
Yeah. I don't want to invoke it, but I kind of feel like it's going to snow at least once more this year because the weather's just
Shut
been,
your goddamn.
it's been such a dick. It's been a dick to us for like the better part of a year. And I'm like, I'm just not going to be surprised. It's not going to stick. It's not going to start winter again, but I bet we see a couple flurries. I'm calling it.
It's gonna be late June and it's gonna dump. He's like, I told you guys.
Yeah. And somebody's going to sock me
I'm
in the
gonna
yard and be
fight
like,
you.
way to go. Yeah.
I'm going to lose that fight, but I'm still going to come try and fight.
Look who we got tuning in.
Oh, sweet. Fred, Mr.
Frey
Espinal.
Espinal.
What's going on, dude?
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Thanks
you,
for
man.
joining us, man. Like I said, I think you just missed our introduction, but got my chicken legs here. Very much enjoying it.
We're gonna be putting in an order here soon.
Yeah, we were discussing that earlier today. This is the time of year, like you were saying, getting ready for summer. We're dumping a lot of money into inventory right now.
Yeah.
But we're saving a little chunk for you. We want to bring some Espinal in. Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for joining us. Where are you at? Santiago. Nice. You were just in Dominican Republic, right? Doing some
Right.
cool stuff. Yeah, working on I think you said working on some new blends. So we'll be excited
cool.
to see what you got going
Nice.
with that.
It'll be fun.
This is our buddy Brandon from our favorite local hangout.
Do you have any big headliners coming up this year for?
No, I think
Bernie?
after the last few years of during COVID, we got so small. So the idea was focus on after work regulars, the cigar
Right.
smokers,
Yeah.
the kind of the older clientele, as opposed to going after, 21-year-olds that are predominantly late night stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And so now we're, that worked out pretty well. It got us through the last few years, but, it's time to get back to what we're good at, which is, get that
Rager?
massive space utilized.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
Yeah.
I remember that place just being off the chain. Just tons of people there. It's like, well, I could go ahead and sit down and have it. Well, that was back when you had hookahs too.
Yeah.
Just
That was
sit
a
there,
while
have a
ago.
hookah, or go get a beer, or whichever comes first, and just
I remember going in there for the first time, and there's the DJ upstairs, and the whole floor is just flexing as
oh
people are
god,
jumping up
just
and
so many
down.
people.
It got wild up there sometimes.
Yeah. Got a little crazy every once in a while.
It's
Yeah.
all right though.
I remember talking to Bernie about that, and he, after talking to him, I was okay being upstairs during those events, but before that, I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I asked him about that once, and then he's like, "I'll be fine. It's a solid steel structure. There's, inch thick I-beams running all the way across the floor.
Sure.
I mean, that's not a bad way to think.
Flexing
is a
is
good
not the
thing.
same thing as breaking.
Yeah,
It's
flexing
meant-
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was wood, it might be a different story.
But you know, that's the
Then-
beauty of it. You want to go upstairs when, you know, the little dance floor's going or the nightclub aspect of it. You can do that. If you want to mellow out and hang out in the bungalow downstairs in the old house,
Mhm.
you can have a nice quiet conversation or
Yeah.
sit out in the yard and have a smoke all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there sometimes in the later season of the fall or whatnot, and you're having the movies out in the
Yeah.
Oh,
out
I
there.
love that so much. The Halloween movies is like one of my favorite
Oh,
things on the
yeah.
planet. I love it. It's such a cool thing.
Yeah, it was a great idea.
It's like a
on that
drive-in
one.
movie theater experience, but with food and blankets and cigars and like it's just
Center heat
freaking awesome.
lamp with the fire
Yeah.
table.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good.
We got to get you a list of like really great, but also terror bad, like B horror movies to throw up there.
That's
He's
just
not trying
good.
to run people out.
That's the
You
whole
know,
point.
usually
like,
we do
movies
no.
that are so bad they become good.
I tried to do a hobo with the shotgun, but I got vetoed by everybody else.
Oh,
What?
sure.
Yeah.
I would have voted for that.
Like, this is entirely too just gory. They're just
I remember one time I came
it's
there. and we
21 and
watched,
up establishment, so it can be gory
Yeah,
as you
right.
want.
One night we did The Exorcist followed by Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that was pretty damn
that
good.
was good night.
What was it? Ghostbusters last time? Or no, it was Beetlejuice the last one I was at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is kind of a staple.
It's a staple. Yeah.
Hocus Pocus, Beetlejuice.
No
Hocus
hocus
Pocus?
pocus.
Women love Hocus Pocus.
If they do.
You
Mhm.
put Hocus Pocus on.
Yeah.
You can follow it up with whatever you want, but you know,
That'll be the early show.
there you go.
I know it's Bette Midler that makes it for me.
Okay.
He's got a little thing.
Mhm.
No, she looks like my grandmother, man. It's just, and my
You got a thing
grandmother
for
was
your
always like a
grandmother?
witch. No, just it was my grandmother's favorite movie. She loved Bette Midler, and like she liked the little musical acts, and she had red hair like that, kind of looked like that. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Straight up gilf.
What is that,
Oh my God, don't no.
You're putting horrible images in his mind.
On purpose, yeah.
I'm aware of these things happening. It doesn't mean I have to be knowledgeable of these things.
Hey, Granny Spry, it's all right.
All right, how much do we have left on this bottle? I might need it.
Well, so we
So we've
mentioned
got
summer.
Faye
yeah,
is
comments, I
actually
guess.
saying he did come back.
Nice.
Then we got another one here from Brandon. Can't pronounce the last of your name.
Slavinsky.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Well, hey, you guys, back to you.
Can't see the picture very well, but because we might know him.
It looks like a mugshot.
That would be a weird
I
thing
think
to
it's
put
his
up as
driver's
your
license.
Facebook.
I would.
Profile. I mean, it depends on what you did. I mean,
Yeah, like your
It's
German
something fun.
mugshot. It's a good one.
my buddy, he flipped a car over in Germany when he was drunk, and I mean, that would be a cool mugshot picture to have. But
The morning after, just all disheveled and pissed off looking, just like, oh, what'd I do?
well, he didn't know because he was that far drunk. But
So on the winter stuff, Brandon, did you get to like get out? Did you do any like? I know you guys were just kind of like on chill mode at Bernie's and stuff, but personal life though, did you do anything cool in winter? Travel anywhere?
Not this last winter. Unfortunately, you know, just hung around here and got to enjoy the Alaskan winter. You know,
mhm.
you kind of the last couple, I guess, decade or so, every winter comes. As soon as I have time off, I'm out. Like I leave the country. I'll go to Japan. I'll go to Taiwan or Thailand or wherever in the world I decide I want to take off to. And then COVID, obviously, couldn't travel anywhere.
Yeah.
And I forgot how much fun Alaska is, even in the winter. You know,
Yeah, it's so
got a couple
chill.
of sleds.
Yeah.
Started snow machining again.
Nice.
You know, and
Nice.
so
Very cool.
just
Did you happen to get a skid steer?
no.
Most awesome thing to have in winter. There is no path that is not unclearable.
Fair enough.
Dakota's just out there, four wheeling and heavy equipment, just making paths. That's
Starting a new trend. Going skid steering.
Skid steer
guys.
might be outside of my budget for a recreational
This-
vehicle.
So my uncle has a gold claim. This last winter, after it snowed like that, we had to get out there to make sure that the entrance to the mine didn't collapse. So we go out there, and it's out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And he's like, "Oh, just bring the Bobcat." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." So we brought the Bobcat, and he put just the plow down, not a bucket, but like a standard plow. It didn't fucking matter. 7 feet of snow the whole way, just 20 miles an hour the whole way there. And we got there, and it was great.
It was tracked, right?
Yeah.
So tracked vehicles, man. You ain't gonna stop.
It was fantastic. And I'm like, after that, I was like, I need a fucking skid steer. I don't know why, but there's going to be a situation where I'm going to be like, I'm happy I got a skid steer.
Why don't you just go for a ripsaw? Hey, that's going to be so much more entertaining, dude. Almost as expensive.
On that note,
So,
I killed the conversation.
yeah,
Let's
this
proceed.
guy. So, snow machining and
Just enjoying the Alaskan winter, and it's a lot of fun just to stick around. You know?
It is. It's so low key and chill, quiet. You don't have the bustle, but it's there's still people coming around to get some socializing and company and stuff.
Cavado.
Yeah, it's great.
But
the big thing I get to go do in wintertime is go curling. So I
okay.
sit there and
I've
go.
always wanted to try that.
Oh, it's a good time. It's a
You don't
weird
realize
sport to get.
He
Get
has
to.
a curling captain's jacket for the local league.
Captains.
I thought it was a captain jacket.
Well, I mean,
Why would you wear that unless you're the captain?
you don't know what you're talking about, man.
You just wear a curling
You
club
and
jacket.
Bette Midler.
Captain Jacket was your nickname in high school.
But yes, curling is a great sport to just get into. Just to waste some time in the winter. You got the fun.
I got Mike off camera.
Yeah. We get the leagues night going. It's a good time just to have a.
It feels like a sport you could drink heavily and
Oh,
still
I do.
perform.
Yeah, well, I don't perform very well after a little while, but yeah, I mean, as usual.
I mean, that happens when you're drinking heavily anyway. So
But you sit there, it's like a big old group of friends getting together at the end of the week, and just have a good time, drink some beers.
So,
have some
are you
fun.
the broomer or are you the thrower? Or?
Oh, yeah. You sit there.
you got to shave the ice. You got to polish it.
Well, I don't do that, but everybody does each task pretty much.
Okay.
So
But you don't do that.
no, that's ice maintenance. That's not my job.
So everyone does everything except you don't do ice maintenance.
Correct. Man, you're not
Because-
turning this around. We're going to be making fun of you all night. It's
Captain
a
jacket.
the biggest part of
Alright,
it though is just being able to get the stone down to the other side,
Yeah.
which I actually have to use the old man stick now because I got a bum knee, so I can't shove off the hack like everybody else.
Yeah, it's like life-size shuffleboard.
Exactly.
You got a couple comments over here or anything?
We do. We've been going through them. Mike's let me know that I need to stop shilling for Bobcat. And then Lori's let me know that we're not going to buy a skid steer for any reason. Hard no.
Well,
I will buy a skid steer because I'll find a fixer-upper. It'll be great. I'll put a fucking snowblower on the front of it.
mhm.
Fuck winter.
I know there's a bulldozer you could find really easily out in the Palmer, but
Or I can have a Bobcat, which can drive on the pavement. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. How has your guys' cigars progressed? You've got the Macanudo M bourbon,
yes, actually, I've been more focused on the bourbon or the whatever this is.
the whiskey.
Whiskey.
The new riff. This is straight bourbon whiskey, and if I remember correctly, it's got a really high rye mash bill at 30%, and then they do like a 5% malted barley, which is unusual.
Yeah, the whiskey has been taking over my palate more so than the cigar has, but
It's pretty
I mean,
good though.
the cigar has that little subtle sweetness to it that I can't get over the bourbon at the end of it.
It's got that burn for sure. It's a palate cleanser.
Me, I'm just enjoying some chicken legs, man. This is my second or third one of these. I was trying not to be too greedy with them and pass them around, but I do like them. I find when
You've been eating them like
before
fucking chicken wings.
yeah, before you light it, you just smelling the cigar in the foot, and I get such rich honey notes. It smells like somebody almost like brushed it with honey.
Is it sweetened at all?
No, very
How do they
traditional
achieve
hand rolled
that, then?
cigar. It's just in the blend. I don't know. You'd have to.
I feel like there would be like mesquite smoke in the process, which has a lot of sugars in it.
I don't know. But you know what? I did get I got some cool little videos on Instagram from Espinal when he was in the DR, and watching his guys actually like hand roll the fillers, which is really cool. There is such a thing as premium cigars billed as hand rolled, and they did roll the wrapper onto the outside, but the filler is machine made. And they're not advertising this. I don't know who is or who isn't. I just know that exists in the industry. But it was cool to see somebody actually taking the time to make this pain in the ass filler, which has to be perfect for the burn and the draw and everything. I was very impressed by that. But yeah, anyway, so in smoking it, I get a little bit of those honey notes. It's a little leather. It's very smooth. Nothing really jabbing out at you from any particular side, but just a really well balanced cigar. I love the size and the band. I'm a fan. What about you, man? How's the Thaito treating you?
I think it's great. It's super light. It's not extremely overpowering.
Sure.
So, it's not leaving like a massive residue flavor in my mouth or anything. But
Sure.
I could definitely have a few of these. I think it's
Cool.
It's an easy smoke.
Yeah.
Nice. I agree. I enjoy them. So I'm glad you like it. What about you, Dakota? Old comfort food doing you well over here?
It is. I got a weird spot as I was smoking it, and it's progressed into like an odd kind of
Canoe.
thing
Yeah.
going on.
That'll happen.
But that's the first time I've had that with that cigar. Mostly any CAO product, so I don't know. But
Smoke enough of the same cigar, you're going to find one that is wonky.
I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
I'm getting those nice spicy notes, that dark oily Maduro that's coating my mouth, kind of creamy feel to it. You shut the fuck up. Yeah, I know. I'm just enjoying it like I normally do. Like
Cool.
it's like the Gurkha Ghost or the CAO Flathead on steroids, and I don't always want that, but tonight I really kind of sort of wanted that. So
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, let's get to the hard-hitting questions over here. Which one of your employees is your favorite?
That depends on the day.
Let's change that up. Which one of your employees needs to watch out because they're on the shit list?
I am lucky that I have a really great crew. Obviously,
this is gotcha journalism right here.
No, there's not a whole lot of us,
Right.
Left over at this point, we got Adam, who's our head of security, our door guy, and Sierra, who's basically becoming the bar manager, and she's learning how to take over that portion of the business, and then Jay's taking care of all the inventory and stuff, and
Jay Taylor.
Patty's going to be in charge of all the servers on the floor this summer. So
Cool.
I have been very lucky in my life that I've been blessed to have a really great crew of people over the years.
And I don't see you like the typical club. I don't know if you're a bar, but you're a club, but you're a bar, but you're an outdoor venue. It's really hard to quantify your
We're
group.
just us. We're Bernie's, man.
You're Bernie's, but you're one of the few owners, besides maybe one or two other establishments here in town that I know of, that doesn't just come and serve a few drinks. You work the floor, you check on the people, you
Pressure
fill
wash while it's
any-
snowing.
Mhm.
You pressure wash while it's snowing and just curse God for doing this to you. And you do all the menial jobs along with everyone else. And you're just another employee. You just happen to guide the ship.
Well, you don't ask anyone to do something you're not prepared to do yourself.
Absolutely.
That's in my opinion, that's just bullshit. If you have something that needs to get done, you do it.
Mhm.
And sometimes, if whatever your job position is, you don't have time to do it, right? And so sometimes you just got to go do it. So,
Just
I
fill
can
in
tell you how
every-
many times I've had to go unclog a toilet or clean up a mess because
Or
the
do
bartenders
dishes
are
for the
busy.
night.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, half the time I'm in the kitchen, I'll go back there and cook. And,
Are you the one making that delicious food, by the way?
some of it's me. A lot of it's Roberto, the guy in our kitchen. He's been with us for a long time.
Let's shout out to Roberto too, because I love your guys' food.
Yeah.
You guys have great food. And I'm always happy with whatever I get.
So
Yeah.
I think this will be he'll be almost his 10th year with us this year. So,
Dang.
Dang.
so we don't have a whole lot of
You better buy him a
employee
fancy smoking jacket.
we don't have a whole lot of employee turnover. So
Mhm.
I noticed that, and that's a big thing. If you've never worked in the service industry or paid attention to it, retaining the same core employees for as long as you guys have, it's really a big deal because there's so much turnover in the service industry. Some of it stems from being unhappy, with the establishment that you work for. Some of it's you just get burnt out on a vibe or a grind. But to retain people for that long in service, and that means something. Speaking from someone who's been there, turnover is a big thing, as you know.
Yeah.
And you guys I don't see that there. Every year
it
I come
happens.
back, it's the same awesome faces, the core group.
yeah, you're not going to get along with everybody. That's just
Yeah.
life. But you can build a group of people around that does generally work pretty well. The funny thing, and Sierra always likes to say this, is I need to stop hiring type A personalities because, we all work together very well, but, we get
Everyone's
into
the
some
boss.
pretty, heated discussions every once in a while. And, but we're not some corporate business. This is a family business. I grew up in a bar, right?
Yep.
I grew up building my forts out of, beer cases in the, in the
Yes.
back, my sister, my brother, my entire family, we've all worked in the industry and grew up in it. So, I mean, hell, you come into the bar half the time in the afternoon, my sister and my nieces are in there. They're in there having an early dinner because.
Well, you guys are like a legit restaurant. So like, unlike a lot of the bars in town, you guys have like a full fleshed out menu. You guys do like seasonal things. You do weekly specials, and it's all things that you do very well. Like some of them aren't necessarily like super impressive in their interpretation, but they're done correctly, which you don't get a lot of places. Like a lot of people try and do their own interpretations. Crap. If you don't have an interpretation, you do it by the book, and it's done like to the book, which is perfect.
Just make good food. You know,
Yeah.
the food might not always be the prettiest thing on a plate, but I guarantee you're gonna like the way it tastes.
I think it always
you
tastes
know,
great,
like
yeah.
that's-
I always assumed your chef was like classically trained for some reason.
no, yeah.
But the
He knows
short
his shit.
ribs that your dad had going, he was telling me that it took like so many times to get it to where he loved it.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting take because he was trying to do. It's a pretty like a braised braised pork ribs. You know, it's a pretty traditional Chinese dish that you can get all the time at like dim sum or you know Chinese restaurants like Charlie's Bakery serves them all the time too. And but he wanted to put his own little twist on it, so he was constantly tweaking this sauce that he was making for weeks. And I got so sick of it. It was like every day I'd walk into work and he goes, "Oh, I changed it a little bit." I was like, "You gotta try these ones." And I'm like, Dad, honest to God, I can't tell the difference. I don't know what.
That's awesome, but it was his passion.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm gonna get him right. I don't care what anybody else says. That's great.
One of the weird things I found about Bernie is it's just talking about the patio heaters outside, and he's like, like you can get them, but they're like a pain, or you can become a dealer for them. So I became a dealer, and I'm the only dealer in Alaska. And these things, and blah blah blah. And he's talking about how to sell them to me and all this, and I'm just like, man, you care.
Well, he was always what's the right word I want to use for this?
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, or just if he couldn't find a deal, he'd make a deal, right? So he was searching for all these patio heaters, and obviously there's markup because everyone's got to make their buck,
Of course.
And so he decided, well,
How many do I have to buy to be a dealer?
exactly. And so he just called the manufacturer and he goes, "Hey, how many would I have to order for this to work?" And I still have a warehouse of like 20 of those things sitting in boxes.
If they ever break.
Yeah, they ever break, but I'm a pretty handy guy myself, so I just keep fixing them instead of replacing them because I'm like, oh, I still got my stash in the back, if I
Sure,
ever
yeah.
need it.
Well, that's good to know. We may
Sit
come
there
across a need for that one day.
Yeah, you get that one part you can't get. Now you got the 20 more to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, they're simple,
We actually have Espinal chiming in saying, "What are we all smoking?" I guess he missed that part. So
Oh, good. Yeah.
one more time for you. And how's that progressed for you as well?
M Bourbon by Macanudo. I mean, still, this whiskey is kind of overpowering my palate. So
That's the issue I have with like Stag Juniors. They really focus on like the nice kind of caramely burn that comes down. That it just it's like coffee in between every sip.
I mean, it's not that the cigar is getting overpowered. It's just, I guess, very complimentary. That it's not like destroying one taste over the other. So
And that's the new riff, their base level, I believe. Sorry.
That's right.
yeah, it's it's a Connecticut type of cigar, so it's very light in flavors, but not really tasting it as much as I am this, but it's not ruining the cigar for me.
What about you, Ben?
Well, as I've said, we've got the chicken legs from Espinal Puro.
Which has like a almost clover honey smell to it, but you say it's not sweetened, so that kind of.
No, it's not sweet, but it smells like, before I light the cigar, smelling it, it smells like someone brushed it with honey. And honey is one of my favorite flavors, aromas in general, just across the board. So I'm always in. And I will say, we were in mid-conversation, but I had a puff or two like 5-10 minutes ago that I was getting like, I don't know, caramel or nougat or something. It was like roasted sugar kind of flavors, but then it's not always there. It comes in and out, and then it's got a nice leathery kind of feel to it.
I almost
Just
feel
enough
like
of like pepper and
that would pair
wood,
well
but
with
just
like some KFC or some Popeyes.
maybe some this is a chicken and waffles kind of cigar.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. It's quite nice.
And how's your Fieto? Any flavors you could pick out, or is it just kind of like not picking the lane? It's just enjoyable.
It's just really enjoyable. I mean, it's nothing super overpowering. And so, I mean, that's kind of why I like, because as not a person who's a giant, cigar smoker, I don't feel like this is going to leave me with a, giant lingering flavor later.
Yeah.
But no, it's very
think
light.
that now.
We'll see.
If I can, so you and I met up the other day, a few days back, to talk about an upcoming event,
Yeah.
and we were talking about cigars and we discussed the fact that you're not necessarily the biggest cigar smoker, but you are a proponent of people being adults and making their own choices.
Exactly.
And that's why one of the reasons why Bernie's will always remain a haven for people who want to sit and have a smoke and not be harassed, not get sideways looks from people or whatever. There's a cigar in your logo.
Yeah,
right?
we started out as a cigar and martini lounge. And,
When did Bernie's first start?
so originally it was in the Sears Mall, and it was called Bernie's Bar and Grill.
I didn't know that.
It was a cigar lounge back then too, and it was more of a jazz.
That would have been in the early '90s before they cracked down.
It would have been It was 91 to 96,
Yeah.
and then the Bungalow.
96 is when they had to apply for a nonprofit for the smoking lounge, so I had to figure that's.
No,
when
I mean
the-
97. It was still indoor smoking. I mean, smoking wasn't. You couldn't not smoke indoors until what was it? I think it was
It's like 2006 or something.
2008. I want to say 2008 or 9, because when I was 21 and 22, you could still smoke inside.
Okay.
Because there's photos of me bartending with a cigar or a cigarette in my mouth, which
Awesome.
was really weird to think about now, but back then it was totally normal. It was an ashtray next to the cash register, and you'd set your cigar down and be like, "Oh, let me wash my hands real fast. I'm gonna get you a drink."
In the Sears Mall, did it have the upstairs area?
No, it was it's where their food court is now, right in the middle of the mall. And it was one of my dad's favorite memories of that place is Winston Marsalis was playing a show at the Pack, and then afterwards he ended up coming to the bar because Bernie's was known as a jazz club at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came by, and then my dad was like, "Oh, is there any chance you'll hop up on stage and play a little bit?" And he got him. He's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll play a couple songs." And
Oh
so,
my God.
my dad had this huge photo of Winston playing, and he always loved that thing. It was so great to have.
That's pretty awesome.
That's super cool.
Kind of a big deal.
So, but yeah, so it started there, and then '97 he moved over to where we're at now. And but yeah, we've always been a cigar place, and people are adults, especially if you're 21 and you can go out to a bar and drink. You're a grown adult. You can choose which establishment you want to go to, and that's fine. If people don't want to be around smoke, go to a bar that has the same, thought process as you. Like, oh, they may have a patio, but they don't allow smoking out there. That's fine. That's the owner or the operator's choice to go after that clientele. My choice is, I've never had a problem with cigar smokers or cigarette smokers or whoever. People are adults. If they want to smoke, great, and we'll continue to be fine with it for the foreseeable future. So
That's great, man. I do remember one time I came to Bernie's. I was either by myself or with a friend. I can't quite remember, but your patio was pretty bustling. There might have even been like an event or something at the time. I can't quite remember, but there was nobody smoking coincidentally at that time. And there's like an event or something, and I was like, I don't know. I almost felt like a little sheepish. Like, should I be that one asshole light up a cigar? It's like, I'm gonna go ask Brandon. And I came and talked to you. He was like, "Hey, man, I know you got a little thing going on here, whatever. Is it still okay if I light up a cigar?" And you're like, "Man, this is fucking Bernie's, dude. Light up 2 of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, absolutely. There's a cigar in my logo, man. I have a cigar anytime." So I appreciate that. That's great. There's not a lot of havens for that anymore.
you shouldn't feel self-conscious about wanting to enjoy a smoke.
I don't feel self-conscious, but I am a polite person, and maybe, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to piss anybody off. But
Well, we've had in the past. I had a customer once complain to me like, "Oh, all these guys are smoking cigars over here, and can you tell them to put it out?" I was like, "No, if you don't like it, you can move tables. I mean, we have a huge patio. You can go to the other corner. There's no smoke." Or
we're one of how many places in town of all the hundreds of places you could go? We're one of like a couple that you can have a cigar at.
I can't really think of a whole lot.
And not any, and the others are just like they have a little smoke shack outside, and like you got this patio. It's great. Anyway, I appreciate it. I always appreciate it.
Now, one thing if you haven't been to Bernie's, it looks like a little house with a hedge around it. Definitely a bar, I promise.
It's different for sure.
We do have a couple comments, mostly my guy Fred over here.
It's all in the priming. All my cigars are handmade. Yeah.
Hey,
Sweet and peppery.
great minds. Dude, I don't know. You said you were technically out of them or whatever, but if there's a couple boxes squirreled away, I would love to have, or I know they're bundles, but anyway, love to have some chicken legs on the shelf, but we'll work out something. But yeah, I'm looking for this flavor profile, man.
If you're looking to do a box,
this
man,
is good.
don't do a box. Send them out in a fucking chicken bucket.
Hey, that could be some good marketing.
It'd
A
be
little KFC
so
style
much,
bucket.
so much cheaper than a box.
And if it was pink and blue and turquoise, like, oh man, I'd be all over that.
Just like you pop the top, just rip it off, and there's all these bundles in there, and you're like, ooh, yeah.
I did want to cut in and get Brandon's take on a couple things, but we were going round table about our cigars after he asked what we were smoking. We didn't get to you, Dakota.
Oh, I'm having the CAO BX3, which is Brazilian all the way down. So that's Brazilian Maduro binder, wrap, binder, and filler. And overall, it's got that like subtle sweetness, a little bit of white pepper to it, a little bit of baking spice. It's got that just oiliness to it. That's not quite cream, but it does coat your mouth. And overall, just like I've been a huge fan of Brazilian cigars for, God, like 6 years now since I had my first Gurkha Ghost. And then after that, I didn't understand that was the flavor profile I was looking for. I just knew I really liked that cigar. Yeah. And slowly but surely, like CAO just kind of fucking centers their lane on that. And I like their entire product line because they really focus on that.
I like that. I will say I have enjoyed a lot of different CAO cigars over the years. The America being one of my favorites. The Zocalo came out a year or two ago. I'm losing track now, but that quickly became one of my top favorites. I enjoy the Italy, Brasilia stuff. Those are pretty good.
I enjoy the flatheads
the
more.
BX3 and that Pilon and Yeho, man, their newest releases, whatever's going on at CAO right now, they're releasing fantastic cigars, at least in my opinion. And of those two, BX3 and Pilon and Yeho, they are goddamn good.
If people are giving you negative feedback on these, don't listen to them. They're wrong.
It's all subjective, but yeah.
It's not subjective, it's science.
All right, I do have I thought of a fun question for you.
Right.
I was trying to something interesting or whatever, like what's Bernie's doing or whatever, like, but something interesting. So you grew up in around this, like you were talking about being at the bar before you were 21 and in a work capacity and stuff, but your dad's there too. So we all have these relationships with our parents where as you're growing up and getting older, sometimes, like you love and respect your parents, but also like, I need a little bit more freedom than you're willing to allow me right now. And you pull like a fast one on them in some way, right? So I was wondering, is there a fun story or something like that you would be willing to share where you're at Bernie's with Pops there too, and you were like, all right, I'm responsible, I'm an employee, but also, God damn it, Dad's not going to tell me what to do all the time. I'm going to do something fun no matter what he says. And I know that maybe that could be a little squirrely question. I'm not looking for any dirt or whatever, but I wonder if you just had like, if something funny pops to your mind.
I
Like
feel
a funny
like it's a pack
story.
of cigarettes that made you sick, or like you took a few shots out of the well, or
I think I probably have more than a few stories I could probably tell you, but some of them I probably don't want to share,
No, absolutely. No pressure. I was just hoping maybe there was something kind of lighthearted or whatever that might pop to mind as far as just enjoying your company and remembering Pops too, like.
I would probably have a good one. I think would probably be the first time I ever came back to the bar when I was 21. I was in college. I came home that summer just to help out. But it's also very weird because, growing up in and around this industry, it was everyone saw my dad as this larger than life personality.
Yeah.
He was this huge social butterfly, and he would sit down and he would have a conversation with anyone. He was a huge people person. Everyone always was like, oh, must be so cool to have, Bernie as your dad.
him and his ranchero hat.
But the flip side is being his kids, and my siblings will attest to this too. He was a raging hard ass at home. Like everyone saw him as a super lighthearted guy. I mean, we had schedules on our door on when we woke up. We would get dressed, have breakfast, go to school, come home, play piano, do homework, have dinner. It was like our whole day was lined up all the time. But when I was 21, I came back from college for that summer. I was a 21-year-old kid.
Sure.
Definitely needed to be brought down a peg or two.
As do all 21-year-olds, myself included. Yeah.
And so my first night ever being in the bar and, being allowed to drink, I called up all my friends that were also 21 who were back home for the summer or, still here. And so everyone met me at the bar and we had a giant rager of a night. And Thomas, who's not with us anymore, but he was our head of security for, I want to say 20 something years.
Damn.
Anyways, he kicked me out.
Yeah.
You're out of control.
Yes,
Get
and I
out.
was out of control. I made a giant ass out of myself.
Nice.
I lipped off to Thomas. I lipped off to everybody. My brother came to try and wrangle me. They're like, okay, you need to get in the car. We're going home. Like, you were done for the night. And I took off running. I just went running away from the bar.
I'm out of here.
And
That's awesome.
don't really remember what happened next. I woke up in the Inlet View playground the following morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Found a cozy little spot.
I went back to my old elementary school, the safe zone in my head. Like, oh yeah, this is a safe place. And, but yeah, so I missed a bunch of phone calls from my brother. I call my brother. My brother comes and gets me. He's livid. I guess everybody's been out looking for me all night.
Classic.
6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, now they know the first place to look.
And then, so I go back to my brother's place. I take a quick nap, and then it's time to go to work. So just to go help at the bar. I show up. My dad's already there. He's already mopping or sweeping the patio. And as I walk in, I just start getting just the longest lecture ever. And he goes, just because I own this place doesn't mean you drink for free. So here's your bar tab for you and all your friends. And it's this giant receipt. And I'm just like, oh.
And
That's
they
awesome.
were not friends saying they're on your tab. Fuck them.
No, I thought it was like, oh, it's my family's bar. We don't have to pay for drinks. Yeah. And then I had to apologize to Thomas. And I spent then probably the majority of the summer in the kitchen just doing dishes. That was the only thing I was allowed to do.
Just paying off that.
Yeah. So it was like, I would show up, I would work the dish pit, and then
That's good.
I'd help clean up in the mornings. But
Oh yeah. That's a
See, that's a
good
good
one.
story. That's what I was
Yeah.
going for. Lighthearted, but
slightly
family.
abridged, but we're going to leave it at that.
Well, okay, that's fine. Like I said, nothing uncomfortable. I was just curious. That popped in my head as a potential question or whatever. And I guess while we're at that moment, how about can we raise a glass to Bernie? We all miss him. We loved him. He made us all feel like fam the moment you walked in. And cheers to him, and cheers to you and continuing on the legacy, man.
Mhm.
Thank you.
That's great. I love that story. Thank you very much.
But
Out of curiosity, are you Laos or Hmong or?
I'm Chinese and Inupiaq.
Okay,
So Chinese
Oh.
and Native Alaskan. So
Nice.
that's interesting combo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, dad's Chinese, mom's Native.
My oldest son, he's half Japanese, so
Oh.
I understand I'm kind of freeform, soft parenting. Then he goes back to his mom's house, and it's like, you will learn violin, you will do piano, you will do this, and it's very, 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 very
Well, that's
super
good.
structured.
That's a good balance,
Yeah. Well, I'm complete chaos. She's complete control. Somewhere between the two is a perfect parent.
And is there such a thing? I don't know.
My mother, saint that she is. No.
Everything you say, she sounds like a saint.
She's great. I love her. Well, shoot, how we doing? We got looks like we got a couple other comments going over here.
Mhm.
We do have a new one here down at the bottom from Mike. My mouse just decided to die, apparently. Oh, there we go. Mike's coming in. As an owner, now are you more or less lenient on comping tabs? No.
No, at the end of the day,
You had to pay for all your friends.
yeah. No, I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with treating your friends to a drink or two, but that I guess is always at my discretion. I think my whole point is, or has always been, the moment people start expecting stuff is really when you have an issue.
Yeah.
And sharing a beer or buying somebody a beer when they come in just to say hi is, that's fine. But, it's when people show up and they start making a stink out of it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're not going to get me a drink this time. Then I'm like,
Real
Yeah.
friends will.
yeah. And that's at the end of the day, that's the truth, right?
Mhm. I used to have friends that go out camping with them. Like, oh, you work at a cigar shop. Where are the cigars at? I was like,
They're in there with
That's,
price tags.
yeah, I mean, that's stock I need to sell. If we want cigars, you got to let me know beforehand so we can buy them.
Well, you give away the house, you're not going to have the house anymore, right?
Yep. So I rarely ever give away the cigars to friends and whatnot.
I mean, speaking of regular employees, right? So like I, for some reason, inevitably always leave my credit card at the bar, and they're really nice about it. And they give me a call, and it's like, hey, you forgot your card, and it's like, oh shit.
Hmm.
So I don't go out too horribly often. It's usually they swipe your card once, hand it back to you, and you open the tab. But at your guys' place, you keep the card,
You would keep the card, yeah.
and I always forget, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, we keep the card because we want to make sure we get the signature. So in case somebody says, oh, well, I didn't sign for it, so I wasn't
Yeah.
there to. I mean, it's
Yeah.
already really tough with, I guess that's a different line of thinking, but,
We
credit
deal-
card processing,
We deal
right?
with chargebacks.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
the time,
no, I know.
and
I fight them hard, and I want to say I win about half the time.
yeah, there are some of them I've lost my mind over. We once had this guy come in and he bought a bunch of champagne. He racked up a pretty large tab. He signed for it and everything. And then the following week, I get, the little letter in the mail from your merchant provider saying, chargeback, please provide documentation proving that they were there. So I sent it back and like, well, he's still, fighting this. So we're going to reverse the charges. I called them and I emailed them the video of this guy signing the credit card receipt along with the security camera footage of him ordering and taking the bottle of champagne, for example, from the bar.
Mhm.
And then this was back when we were really busy, so we still had the ID scanner when you'd come in on the weekends.
Oh, nice.
So you know for sure he
So
was there.
we had a photo of him entering with a photo of his the information from his ID.
Hmm.
And I was like, he definitely was here, definitely ordered it, definitely drank it,
Yep.
and I still lost that one.
You lost that one?
Yeah.
Oh
All
my
that?
God.
That's insane, man.
What a jerk.
But yeah, that's just life. That's
Yeah.
that's just at the end of the
Such
day.
is life.
American Express can suck a dick.
But most people aren't like that,
Yeah,
most people
generally
are,
honest.
are generally good people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make that assumption, but it's just
There was one time I didn't pay for drinks, and I didn't realize it at the time because I got kicked out of the bar, and so I stumbled back home with a friend and get up in the morning like, shit, where's my card? It's got to still be at the bar. Go back up to the bar, and I was, hey, you guys got my card, man? I apologize for last night. I have no clue what I did to get kicked out of here. They're like, oh yeah, man, not a clue. And then I go up to the bar, hey, you got my card? And no, man, no, not anything back here. All right, so I start walking back to the house, and I'm like, man, where's my wallet? Oh, there's my card. Son of a bitch. I guess I didn't even give him my card, didn't pay for it. That's why I got kicked out. Fuck. I feel like a shit. All right, let's run home. Let's not talk about
no, you
this
go back
again.
and square up. And then all is good in the
You go
world.
back and square up. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Honest mistakes happen.
I was really young. I didn't drink the beer. They kicked me out.
We got this gentleman here. Hey everyone, Derek here, formerly from Hawaii, now in Tampa. What's up, Ben?
Oh,
Chad?
shit. Derek, how's it going, man? Long time no see.
Derek.
Thanks for tuning in. Derek came in our shop several times. He was here for a while. He went back home to Hawaii, and now I guess he's in Tampa. But he sent us a little
I
package
remember,
with some
yeah.
cigars.
Yeah.
Derek, good to hear from you, man. Thanks so much for tuning in. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, man.
How's life? How are you? Write us back. Thanks for chiming in, dude. That's awesome. I
Hey.
thought about you the other day, actually. Just kind of was like, I haven't seen this guy for a while. I'd dig around. Maybe we probably got your contact information somewhere, but
I think we've gotten a couple emails.
have we?
I think so.
Anyway,
If not, but-
dude, that's so awesome. Thanks for remembering us and chiming in and saying hello. We really appreciate it, man. I hope you're doing well. If you ever get back up here, come see us, man. We'll hang out and smoke a cigar.
Mhm.
That's
And
awesome.
then,
We got anything
Oh,
else?
we got a
response.
Oh,
couple
yep.
more that popped in here. I know. Sorry for the hiatus. Doing well. Hope you're all doing great.
Life's
doing
busy,
good.
man. No worries. No apologies. It's all good. We're doing great. I hope you're doing great. That's awesome. Thanks. Cool. Well, I don't know. Do we want to do a round of cigar notes again as we're progressing through at the moment?
Sure. I mean, my BX3 is now hitting the barrel here, and I mean the spice is definitely coming out, but I smoke cigars a little bit fast and hot, so that might be my fault. Same consistency from light up all the way till now. Nothing's changed. Like
That's good.
consistency all the way through, which
That's
is
a
why I love
badass
this
cigar,
cigar.
yeah.
Yeah. What about you, sir?
You
With
know,
your Fiat
you
dog?
guys have these amazingly detailed descriptions, and I'm trying to think of.
We're more practiced at bullshitting about
Yeah,
it. You
I'm
know
on
what I
the
mean?
same level as you are, but
You can
these
say-
two.
I like the smoke. You know, I
You
mean,
can
I
say
think at the end of the day,
creosote.
As long as you can just generically like it, that's a good sign of the cigar, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's good. Cigars are kind of like wine or what bourbon is doing right now. There's a lot of zhuzh. There's a lot of this one. You're gonna taste the
5% pear.
It rained a little more
10%
this year,
apple.
and then you know what I mean, like or some it gets super fancy. But at the end of the day, it's just you either like it or you don't. If you want to get fancy and pick out notes, great. Or if not, if you're just like this smoke's good and I like it, that's totally fine too. Like
I guess I just need to smoke some more. You know, like I can broaden my palate.
I love to be a bad influence, so I'm gonna start bringing you cigars. If you enjoy that, I got other stuff you'll enjoy too. But yeah, if it's not your thing, that's fine too. But we are very happy to have you here. You know, this is a cigar live stream, but it's more about just bringing in cool people that we enjoy from our community and getting together and just rapping.
Well,
you know,
going
doing
into
the
summer, we
thing.
got to start, stocking cigars again. So
There you
know,
go, yeah.
we'll get some cigars from you.
If that's
So-
something you want to do.
Well, we did that in the past.
Yeah, we had a
What
good
kind of
setup.
vending machine do you guys use, out of curiosity?
Oh, it's just the standard snack machine. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, we had them all set up down on the bottom row there, and a little water pillow with it, so it'd stay nice and fresh.
We should put them in tubes.
If we can get some tubes, but I don't know, man. We gotta get some plastic ones. I don't want them to fall and break.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put a little foam mat on the bottom of the vending machine. You
We
know?
should get some tubes that way.
I want the
stay
robot
fresh all
arm
the
that
way to the
gently
end.
comes over and grabs it and then gently takes it down. Like,
It comes over and cuts it real quick and
Oh,
lights
that
it.
is so cool.
Lathers it up for you.
I'm not gonna lie, that is actually an option. It's expensive, but it is an option. I will not foot the bill for that one, but I'll foot the bill for a snack machine.
Yeah, there we go.
Japanese vending.
Yeah. A little bit more than that. Well,
They do also make plug-in
45.
like electronic humidors that are like set it and forget it, and they can hold, I don't know, 4 or 5 boxes depending on what you got, and then it's like you just open the door and grab one.
Mhm.
You know, that might work now. The problem is I actually got rid. We used to have humidors behind the bar for when people would want to come and buy a cigar. And the problem with that was Dad just smoked them all. So we made his goddamn money.
Fucking Bernie! Yeah.
So I was like, we're getting away with this. And, that was before you guys had bought the tobacco shop, because that was back when Pete was still alive.
Mhm.
And I mean, I remember going to get cigars from Pete back when he was over in Mountain View.
That's super
Mhm.
cool, man. I never got to meet Pete or visit his stores. I was in Denali or whatever, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's a funny story. I was was here with my dad, grabbing stuff, and I was in high school, so I definitely wasn't old enough to buy tobacco. And I was like, "Hey, Pete, just throw in a can of chew in there, will you? It's for the bar." And he gives me this funny look. He goes, "Your dad never buys chew. You ain't slick." I was like, "Damn, well, I'll try."
You ain't slick. That's great. I love any stories about Pete because I didn't get to meet him, but I've heard so many funny little, people describe him as a really delightful asshole, or
Yeah.
and I wish you could have met him. So I always love and appreciate stories about him.
Well, I was always a little kid, and he was always really nice to me. So
Sure, yeah.
And the one thing I got about Pete was the only time I ever really met him, sitting there buying a pack of Al Capones because I was young and didn't know what cigars really were except for the stuff I had in the Marines. And going up and saying, "Hey, you got any Al Capones?" And he's like, "I ain't got those cigars here." It's like, "All right.
What's wrong with you?
well,
All right,
sorry.
hey, shit, sorry.
I'll get the fuck out of here."
I should have suggested something that you could have had instead.
Yeah. No, he just had this weird look like, "You don't belong. This is not your shop."
And now it's your
And now it is, yeah.
Now it is. Take that, Pete.
It's come full circle. It's the ultimate
Full
episode,
circle.
right?
But
So as we reach the top of the hour, is there anything that you want to give a shout out about? Anything specific that's happening? Anything
Well, I
you want to
think-
make an announcement about?
I think this summer we're shooting to have a nice cigar social with you guys
Mhm.
Yeah,
in June.
it'll be
and
June 28th. That's the most detail we have at the
Yeah.
moment. It's June
we're
28th.
trying to work out some of the kinks, but we would look. We're gonna have this nice evening of cigars
Mhm.
with you guys and us out on the patio. And
Yeah.
perfect.
Fifth
Yeah.
Avenue Cigars, the Alaska Cigar Aficionados, Bernie's,
Mhm.
and the cigar you're smoking right now is from Sagrado, and that's the company that their owner John Stewart's going to come up, as well as their brand rep Keith, and we're just going to have a nice time. Where it's going to be, we're hashing out the details. We don't know exactly yet, but there's going to be cigars, something really good to drink, something really good to eat. You're going to meet the owner, learn about the cigars, and just have a good time, right?
Mhm.
Well, details
Either
to
way,
come.
it's gonna be a
Details
good
to
time.
come. But next month, it's a Wednesday, the 28th. Market. There'll be something really cool.
Yeah, I think we'll have a good time. Bring
Hell
a good
yeah.
smoking coat.
Bring your fancy smoking jacket.
I'll bring
You-
this one.
you
You
gotta
You know,
hear
I
that.
still have a closet of them upstairs at the bar.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Do you have any that are like large to maybe extra large, tall?
I will take a look.
All right.
Because
If
we
you
always
got any oversized ones that like nobody can wear,
We-
but maybe I can,
we
let
used
me
to
know.
keep them for when people wanted to come in and have cigars and
Oh,
sit in
shit.
I
yeah.
totally want to see like
Oh, that's
Pedro
awesome.
Pascal, who shows up in
You
like
just pick up a jacket.
a silk lounge shirt with a bathrobe and silk pants and silk slippers.
All right. That's a little more of a Hefner look, but
He pulls it off, not like Hefner.
you
Thank
got
you.
the slippers on.
No, I got just some ratty shoes.
On that high note, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the first Saturday of next month. And if you're in Alaska, come join us on the 28th of June over at Bernie's. Or anytime if you want to have a cigar, join us at Bernie's, man.
Join us at Bernie's. Bernie's is a great place. And let's also again thank Brandon. Thank you for giving us
Thank
some
you.
time.
Oh,
getting
thank you
here.
very much for having me, guys.
We love you.
Appreciate it.
We love the spot, and yeah, this is awesome. I've been wanting to have you on for a while, so this is great. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, thanks everybody. Have a good night.